unable to resist the exhaustion that overwhelmed him. The tent, quiet and still, became a stark contrast to the battlefield he had just fled. But as the seconds turned into minutes, a transformation began within Jael. Though her actions thus far had seemed kind and accommodating, her mind was racing, weighing the gravity of the moment. She knew who Sisera was, the architect of Israel's suffering, a man whose iron grip had oppressed her neighbors for years. Here he was, helpless and unarmed within her reach. The weight of destiny seemed to press upon her. Quiet determination settled in Jael's heart. She realized that this moment was not an accident, but an opportunity, a chance to act against the oppressor who had brought so much pain to her people. With steady hands, she reached for a tent peg and a hammer, tools she was intimately familiar with from her daily life. The silence of the tent seemed to echo her resolve as she moved closer to the sleeping figure of Sisera. Her steps were deliberate, her breathing calm, her resolve unshaken. The hammer felt heavy in her grasp, but her purpose gave her strength. The climax came in an instant of swift, decisive action. Jael, standing over Sisera, raised the hammer and drove the tent peg through his temple with a single powerful strike. The sound was brief, the act final. Sisera, the feared general whose name had once been synonymous with terror, was no more. His death marked the end of his tyranny and a turning point in the conflict between the Israelites and Canaanites. Jael stood over his lifeless body, her face a mix of solemnity and resolve. She had made her choice and carried it out with courage, altering the course of history in a single act of bravery. When Barak arrived in pursuit of Sisera, Jael stepped out to meet him. "Come," she said, her voice steady, "and I will show you the man you are looking for." Barak entered the tent and saw Sisera's body, the tent peg a grim marker of his fate. Jael's act was not only the fulfillment of Deborah's prophecy, that Sisera would fall by the hand of a woman, but also a profound testament to how ordinary individuals can rise to extraordinary challenges. Her courage became a symbol of deliverance for the Israelites, a moment that would be sung in their songs and remembered for generations. Jael's decision was more than an act of violence. It was a stand against injustice and oppression. She demonstrated the strength that lies in quiet determination and the power of courage to shape history. The story of Jael and Sisera became a defining moment in Israel's journey, a reminder of how even the most unassuming individuals can become instruments of deliverance and justice. The death of Sisera sent shockwaves through the land of Canaan, creating a ripple effect that demoralized and disbanded the once dominant Canaanite forces. On the battlefield near the Kishon River, where mud and blood marked the site of their crushing defeat, the news of Sisera's demise spread like wildfire among the scattered remnants of his army. Soldiers who had once marched with pride under his command now abandoned their weapons and fled in disarray, their will to fight shattered. The Israelites, invigorated by their leader Barak and inspired by Deborah's prophecy, pursued their enemies with relentless determination, ensuring that no pockets of resistance would remain. The fall of Sisera marked not just the end of a battle, but the collapse of a system of oppression that had weighed heavily on the Israelites for decades. It was a victory that would reshape the power dynamics of the region, tipping the scales in favor of Israel and bringing an end to King Jabin's reign. Amid the celebrations of this monumental victory, one name stood out above the rest: Jael. Her actions, as shocking as they were courageous, became the defining moment of the conflict. Across Israel, her name was sung in triumphant verses. Deborah and Barak's victory song immortalized her as a heroine of unparalleled bravery. "Most blessed of women be Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite. With her hands the oppressor was struck down, and Israel was delivered." Her act of driving a tent peg through the temple of Sisera was retold with awe, a powerful reminder of how even those outside the battlefield could wield the tools of justice. Jael's name echoed in the hills and valleys of Israel, a symbol of divine intervention and human courage. Yet, her actions sparked complex discussions, even within her community. To many, Jael was a heroine whose boldness had saved countless lives and ended years of suffering. Her courage in taking a stand against a formidable enemy, even within the supposed safety of her home, was celebrated as a testament to faith and strength. However, some questioned her methods. Was it betrayal to offer refuge and then strike down her guest? Did the ends justify the means? These moral dilemmas added layers of intrigue to Jael's story, casting her not just as a figure of history, but as a symbol of the difficult choices that arise in times of war and oppression. Her actions raised profound questions about justice, morality, and the lengths to which one must go to confront evil. In the quiet days that followed the battle, Jael's life returned to its rhythm, yet nothing would ever truly be the same. The tent where Sisera had fallen became a silent witness to the turning point in Israel's history. For Jael, her role in the victory was both a burden and a legacy. Though hailed as a savior by many, she carried the weight of her decision, knowing that such moments are never without cost. Her story became a reflection of the unexpected ways heroism can manifest, not through armies or kings, but through the actions of ordinary individuals called to extraordinary deeds. The Israelites used their victory as a foundation to rebuild their society. With Canaanite oppression lifted, the land experienced a period of peace that lasted 40 years. This peace, however, was not simply the absence of war. It was a testament to the faith and courage that had brought it about. Deborah's leadership, Barak's determination, and Jael's decisive act all played a role in shaping the destiny of Israel. Their stories became intertwined, each a thread in the rich tapestry of their people's history. The legacy of Jael transcended her time. She became a symbol of how courage can emerge from the most unassuming places. Her story was a reminder that heroism often defies expectations. In a world dominated by warriors and rulers, a woman with a tent peg and a hammer delivered justice with quiet determination. Her tale echoed through generations, a beacon of hope for those who believed that even the smallest acts could change the course of history. In reflecting on Jael's story, it becomes clear that heroism is not bound by convention. It is not limited to those with power or weapons, but is found in the hearts of those who rise to meet their moment. Her actions remind us that courage is not the absence of fear, but the resolve to act in the face of it. Jael's legacy challenges us to see the potential for greatness in the ordinary, the extraordinary strength in the unexpected, and the enduring impact of one person's resolve. The story of Jael and Sisera is not merely a tale of war and victory, but a timeless reflection on the complexities of justice, the nature of heroism, and the divine purpose that can guide even the most unassuming of lives. It stands as a reminder that history is shaped not only by kings and generals, but by individuals who choose to act when the moment calls. Jael's name, etched into the annals of history, continues to inspire those who believe